On today's episode of Homeworthy, we're in Fort Worth, Texas to meet Joe, a visionary entrepreneur, rancher, and owner of the Bowie House Auberge Resorts Collection. We'll be touring Joe's stunning townhouse, one of 7 exclusive residences on the property, where her love of art, Western design, and equestrianism is on full display. From her leadership in the cutting horse world to developing luxury ranches, and now a boutique hotel, Joe's story is one of passion, grit, and timeless style. Enjoy! You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story. A big thank you to Coates Homes for sponsoring today's episode.
Hi, Homeworthy. I am Joe, and I am welcoming you to my townhome here in Fort Worth, Texas. This is number 7 of the 7. Welcome. Hi, I'm Joe, and welcome to Bowie House and the 7. We're glad to have you here, and I am looking forward to showing you my new townhome. I've just only been here a couple of months, and it's very exciting to be in this hotel townhome community, and I'm very anxious to share it with you. So we are in Fort Worth, Texas. We are at the Bowie House Hotel. It's a development that my company just finished about a year ago. We've been open for about a year, and the townhomes, the 7, are a part of that development, and it's a community of a hotel, townhomes, residential, and we started this project perhaps about 4 years ago, maybe 5 now, from the development stage to the building, and we were happy to open on December 1st of 2023. So we're a year into it, and here we are. Fort Worth is famous for their equestrian events from all over the world. We have people that are in town right now for the National Cutting Horse Association Futurity. The Futurity will go on for 27 days, and we actually will have people here from all over the world. Many of these people have bought ranches and homes throughout the area, and we feel like that the 7 will become the home for some of those people, the equestrian community in general. You are now standing in my entryway. If you have been in the hotel, you'll know that my home is an extension of the hotel in the style, in the art that I collect, and this is my foyer. I do a lot of business with a showroom here in Fort Worth called Simple Things. Many of the items that you see in the home and in the hotel are from Simple Things: furniture, furnishings, accessories. They're my favorite showroom. On my buffet here, I have a vintage lamp that I purchased from the same auction house where the bar at Bowie House came from. The skull is one of our artists that I carry in the hotel, Caroline Jaross, and she does a fabulous job with skulls. It's a different version of a decorative skull. It's a very sophisticated, beautifully painted skull. This bronze is a bronze that I have had for almost 40 years. It's an artist called Mayor Marcos. He's an Egyptian artist. He does oils and bronzes. He's located in La Jolla, California. I love this piece. This is one of my favorite bronzes. So many of the things that you'll see in this home I have had for many, many years. I've had them in my other homes. This is an example of a mirror I've had for perhaps 40 years. There's a lot of art that you will see in my townhome that are extension of the artists that you saw in the hotel. This is an exception. This artist is a Chinese artist that now lives in Beijing. I found this piece at Art Basel, Switzerland, just this last spring. This artist hand polishes these beautiful stainless steel sculptures. This is an example of one of his small pieces. He has moved on to doing very, very large scale installations in public, and this will be one of his last small sculptures, so I feel very, very fortunate to be able to capture this and bring it. I'm very, very happy with this. Okay, I'm going to give you the elevator reveal. This is like my biggest surprise in the townhome. This is something I truly enjoy showing people because it's so unusual. This is the only elevator in the entire world that has this finish. This artist is by Bruce McDonald. He is also represented in the hotel. He works with stainless steel, and he gets this effect with many brushing tools. If you can see this, I mean, it's almost unbelievable. It has a three-dimensional effect, and it feels like the surface is right there, but actually you just touch through it. It's just an incredible feeling and gives the space a dimension that it normally would not otherwise have. You can change the lights. I've had a totally blue elevator, totally green, and then it'll change into green and purple. It's a fascinating piece of contemporary art. So I envisioned my stairwell to be a gallery, and that's what I've done is I've brought some of my favorite artists from the hotel and from my private collection to embrace my stairwell. So let's go up. I want to point out this piece of art. This is a very special piece of art to me for a lot of reasons. This is David Bates. It's one of his earliest pieces, probably painted in the 70s or 80s. It belonged to Margaret Barry Bryan. Margaret was my first interior designer when I built my home in Dallas, and she has remained a close friend for many, many years. She just passed away last year at the age of 102, and she promised me 40 years ago that I could have the opportunity to own this once she passed. It's very, very special to me. This is a great spot for me to explain what I envisioned this stairwell to be as a gallery, not only for me and my guests that visit, but also for the hotel guests. The ones that are out at the pool or up on their balconies can look into my stairwell and they see a beautiful art gallery. And that's what I am trying to achieve here. We are now on the second floor of the townhome. The second floor is the living quarters of the unit. We have 2 bedrooms. It works really, really well to save the top floor for the living room and the kitchen and the entertainment space. I want to show you Cindy Holt's piece. I was very attracted to her piece. I love color, I love animals. Her style is a little different in some of the pieces. I love the pointillism that she has here. Cindy is originally a California artist. She now resides in Fort Worth, and she was represented in the Valley Gallery there in Dallas. Welcome to my guest bedroom. I'm very happy with the way this turned out. The bedrooms are very spacious, and they allow me to include many of my collections and my style. This artist, I love this artist. This is Daniel Black, and I've had this piece for several years now. I think it's a perfect example of some of his style. I really like that. Another beautiful piece, a beautiful bench that I found at Simple Things. I love this bench. Everyone that sees it wants to take it home with them. A lot of the things that you see in my house are just things that I've picked up for many years. I've had these many, many years. I used them as end tables in a living room for a while, but I thought they'd be great. I love this style of creating something very different as tables, bedside tables. I think it's a very interesting approach. I love the style of the guest bathroom. The architect did an excellent job. I've been very pleased with the surfaces, the space. The closet space is phenomenal for a guest bedroom. The finishes are very easy to live with. Makes it very easy to accessorize a home when your background is so special. I'd love to show you this beautiful armoire. It's a relatively new piece. I found it in an antique shop in Mobile, Alabama. It was actually on lease to a movie production. It was in a movie, and I couldn't take it home for about 6 months because they were using it in the movie. It houses several of my favorite things. My dog collars of all my best friends that have lived their life with me and now have passed on, but this is kind of what I do, and I think it's very special to me. I'd love to point out this photograph. This is such an iconic photograph, and it is, I know almost everyone in the photograph. It's a group of cutting horse stars, trainers, non-professionals. Buster Welch and his wife, Shayla, are in this, along with many Hall of Fame riders, both professional and non-professional riders. And while I'm talking about Buster Welch, I want to show you quickly one portrait that I bought that is dear to my heart. Buster was a great friend of mine, and he's just a Western icon and probably the most famous cutting horse trainer of all time as far as a legend. But we shared many stories together, and this is a wonderful portrait of Buster. I'm very happy to show you the primary bedroom. And the first thing I want to talk about are these amazing doors. These doors once were in the former mayor of Dallas, Stark Taylor's home. I'm sure he had them custom made for his ballroom. Eventually, my son ended up buying that home, and he was going to demolish it, and so I salvaged these doors before they made that transition. So they're just absolutely gorgeous, solid oak doors. They have the original beveled glass and the original hardware. I did have them faux finished, and it was always my vision to let this be the entrance to the primary bedroom. I think they are just absolutely fantastic. There are many things in this room that I'm really happy to share with you. One thing I wanted to talk about was the linens and some of the artwork that's in this room. I've had them for many, many years. This is a collection from Pandora Balthazar's Antique European Linens. I found her in Round Top, Texas, and I have quite a collection of her vintage linens, and I created this bedding, this set, for some years ago, and this bed and everything in this room was at my ranch in Whitesboro. But I knew as soon as I was designing this townhouse that this is where this collection would end up. This is another Caroline Jarras painted deer that I think is just so feminine and so beautiful in this space. The mirrored bedside tables I thought were excellent addition to the collection. This is another Simple Things from Simple Things. I already had the mercury glass lamps, so I chose a mercury glass chandelier for over the bed. The framed tapestries are also vintage linens from Antique European Linens. I had this collection of benches, petite couches, you may say, or love seats. They're smaller than the traditional love seat, but they fit just absolutely perfect. I already had these. And then, of course, the little vintage black saddle I thought was just a great accessory for the space. This is an application that is a little unique to my style. I've never designed like this before. I have to give the credit to the architect, Michael Gooden and Associates, who is the architect on the home, on the entire development. But this was their design, and I am very, very happy with it. I think it's very clean, it's contemporary, but it still has a warm and welcoming feel to it. I did add a few things, a few touches of my own. I love what he did here. We have the epee wood floor that is throughout, so this is a wet surface throughout with a recessed floor, drains, and it's a very, very attractive touch. The floating vanity with the built-in lavatories is, I am really happy. It's the first time I've ever used that technique. I am in love with the concrete bathtub. It is a product by a company called Cocoon, and it is it's delightful with the waterworks fixtures in copper. I think is very, very attractive. My equestrian background, so this is the application. I wanted these shelves. I did this in another home with the lighted shelves, just narrow shelves. You can do a lot of different things. I did have family photographs on them and then found the rusted horseshoes, and I thought that really is very attractive, very stylish, very contemporary. So I was very happy with that. This is a feature that I've never done before, to have your in-mirror television. So it's a great opportunity to enjoy a glass of wine, a nice soak, and watch a movie. I'm very, very happy with this storage capabilities in this unit. We maximized every inch that we could. I have a beautiful linen pantry here. One thing that I really love, and I learned this from the hotel, is my closet. I developed my dry vanity at the end of the closet, so therefore my lavatory always stays nice and clean and uncluttered, and all my lady things that ladies have to have are down there. So that's really a nice feature. But the closet space is amazing. I created this hat display using bridle hooks, brass bridle hooks. Very nice. I created this little hidden garage so I can hide makeup, hair accessories, so forth. Created a little art niche right here, which is really quite attractive. And of course, being a cowgirl, I have all my hats and all my boots with a tremendous amount of closet space. So we'll continue up the staircase and you'll get to see a little more of the art gallery as we go. I'd love to introduce Jake Genovese. Jake is represented in the hotel as well. He is one of my favorite young contemporary artists. He is the king of minimalism. And of course, I love red, so I bet this piece has found its forever home. This piece is by John David Cole. JD is a new artist to me. He was discovered by Emily, the gallery at Bowie House art director. I absolutely love his style. Emily tells me that JD actually knows every character in his paintings, that he personally knows this man. They have long conversations, they're friends, and then he paints him in his workspace. And I just think his technique is fantastic, so I'm really excited about introducing him to the hotel. This is a fascinating piece of contemporary art. I discovered this at Art Basel, Miami 2 years ago, Lisa Ashenoff. She does this very detailed architectural contemporary paintings, and she does them in all scales. This just happens to be a very large piece, but I think her technique is just fantastic. This is one of my favorite artists, both personally and as an artist, Ingrid Magidson. Ingrid lives outside of Aspen, Colorado in Basalt. Ingrid does a technique of very, very layered, detailed, fabulous art. She takes the Renaissance figure and then layers so many different elements into her painting. She's represented in the hotel. I think there's like 20 pieces of hers in the hotel, and we just had her as a guest doing an interview, an artist talk, and a public exhibition. She's absolutely wonderful. This painting makes me smile. Every one of Abigail Jackson's, and there's a great story behind this. Abigail actually is the hostess of Bricks and Horses in the hotel. Abigail started painting not too long ago and brought a few of her paintings to the hotel. We hung them, and she is now one of our fastest selling artists. So it's Abigail's style is Western, but it's in a contemporary version, and it's very appealing to a lot of the younger generation. This is another artist that paints from characters he actually knows. The artist is Miles Baker. This is a lady that apparently the story I was told is the lady lives in a trailer home. Down the street she has these dogs, and this is an actual capture of her personality. So we've made it to the third floor, the living area of the home, the entertainment area of the home, and I have already entertained a great deal up here, even being here a short time, and I expect to have several parties up here the next couple of days. It's just a perfect space for entertaining. This is not a new piece of art. This is a piece I bought in the 80s. It has lived in several of my homes, my ranch in Mississippi, and then another home, and finally it has made its way here. It lived in the hotel for a short period of time, and now it's here. I would love to show you this photograph. This is an actual untouched photograph by a dear friend of mine, Lee Tennyson, who is a fellow cutting horse competitor friend. He's also a neighbor here in Fort Worth, and he is a frequent patron of the hotel. But one of his hobbies is photography. He goes to Africa almost every year. And this is just a natural photograph. They were at a watering hole, and this beautiful leopard came down, and just as he took his drink of water, he looked up at the camera. These eyes, these turquoise eyes, are untouched, and Lee tells me that that is the color of a leopard before he reaches adolescence or before he reaches maturity. The eyes will eventually turn yellow, but right now they're turquoise, and that is a totally untouched photograph. This is now the powder room. We have a powder room on the third floor, which is wonderful, with a coat closet, and then the finishes in here are just lovely. Again, the plaster is used throughout the house, and another one of Lee's photographs this year. He took this just a couple of months ago. The elephant is just absolutely perfect for this space. I love my kitchen. I have more storage space here than I have in my 3 times larger home in Dallas. It's absolutely fabulous. Most of the appliances are Fisher-Paykel. I chose, the architect had this island, and many times people will have the island, they may have stools at the island, then they have a formal dining table, and then they have their living space. And I didn't want to give up the real estate to have a dining table that I would use so little, so I designed this wraparound table. I had it made in Mexico of old vintage used wood, and created this table that serves my purposes. I can seat dinners here, I can seat dinners on the patio, so I think I have plenty of space, and I didn't have to give up all of the real estate in the living room, so I have much more space than was originally designed because of this application. I don't call myself an estate sale junkie, but I do love to go to select estate sales, and I have to mention these. These are vintage Thonet bent wood chairs with black patent seats. I bought these in an estate sale. It was the estate of John and Lupe Murkison, and John Murkison was one of the original owners of the Dallas Cowboys. So I was very thrilled to get these out of his estate. I have several things from that estate. Before I show you the coffee bar, I want to point out a few features that I think are very unique and really set the style for this space. This island was slated to be the same finish as the countertops, and I just wanted something more special, and I found this in a marble showroom, and this is petrified wood. It's actually petrified wood, so we did the waterfall effect with it, and then I tied in the wooden table. So everyone that comes in here goes, "What is that?" They are just absolutely amazed with this piece of marble. It's not marble, it's petrified wood. I think one feature in this unit that really is unique and special are these solid mahogany beams that anchor the ceiling, I guess you might say. I found these in Old World Lumber. It's a showroom of reclaimed lumber between here and Dallas. But the installation story is really the best part. I did not want the beam, this 30-foot beam, cut to be installed. So they actually had to cut a hole in the side of the building through the elevator shaft, bring it in, and install it in one piece. So that just speaks to the talent of our builder. And by the way, let me please say, Coates Home is the builder of all of the townhomes, the entire 7. And I've worked with a lot of builders in my life, and I can tell you that they are the best I have ever worked with. I think you can see that copper are the finish of choice in this townhome. I think it absolutely is a beautiful choice, accent to all of the different finishes that we have. I am really pleased. The architect chose this. This is a burnished copper cladding to the cabinets. All of this is storage above your cooktop. This bookcase, I think, is a good example of how you can take ordinary objects and create a very attractive, interesting space in your home. These are all things that I have picked up for years all over the world. I've had this for 40 years, and it was in a guest bedroom in my primary house. These are hand-blown tulips from England, very collectible, but this is one of the first accessories that my friend Brian, the designer I was telling you about, talked me into buying. So I'm especially fond of that. The books I found in estate sales, just different places. This is an old saddle that I found. It's a saddle mold that I found in a saddle shop. But just different collections. I can't even tell you what this is, but I like the weight of it. I like the interest of it. And it doesn't have to be anything. It's just interesting. So, one thing I did in my pantry to prevent clutter out in this space was I developed a pantry with open shelving. It has electrical power, so I can keep my coffee maker, I can keep my can opener, I can keep my crock pot, anything that I have to plug in, I can keep it in that space and not clutter up my living space. But come along with me, I'll show you the coffee space. This is a cute little niche that I created with vintage copper accessories that I found somewhere. Different antique shops, estate sales, you name it. I created my bar back here. I have my coffee machine and my bar, wine closet, ice maker. So I've been working on my living space. I am collaborating with Jim out at Simple Things on the furniture. Jim is wonderful to work with. He allows me to bring things in, try them, take them back, switch them out, or whatever it takes. And I can't say that I'm 100% sold on this right now, but I am working with it. So This is a very unique piece in the collection. In South America, Central America, the 18-wheelers that carry cargo do not have solid sides. They use tarps to cover the cargo as they go down the highway, and of course they get beat up, torn up, they get patched over and over and over and over again, and eventually they are not usable anymore. So there's a design company that buys the tarps, they dye them, and then they create furniture out of them. So this great big huge ottoman is out of a tarp that saw many, many miles down the highway once upon a time. This art, I think, really just sets the tone for this living space. I found this at Art Basel, Miami 2 years ago. The artist is Ozzie Suter. It is called concave mirrors. You can get them in any color that you want. I purchased this as is, and it was lived in the hotel for a year, and then we had an artist come in and we had to take it down. So I said to Emily, I said, let's just take it to the townhome and install it. I want to see what it looks like. Well, I think the hotel lost their art piece because I am in love with it in this space. This is a feature that I added to the plan that I am so happy I did. I have enjoyed this so much. By opening this space, it opens actually all the way back and makes the patio become part of the living entertainment space. I can also set an additional table out here, which increases my dining experience. The thing I love about it and I enjoy the most is sitting out here enjoying a cocktail or visiting with friends, reading a book, but I am part of the hotel. It has a beautiful view of the swimming pool, the below patio, the townhomes, the hotel, and it's just such a welcoming thing. It makes you feel like you're part of a community, even though you don't have to be in the space, you're part of it. It's a great feeling. I really enjoy. I struggled with trying to describe what living here makes me feel like. Here you have a community of people that you can be a part of, or you can not be a part of it. You can be as involved or engaged or as private as you want to. But it's a really great feeling to be a part of a community. It's great to sit out here and hear the music coming from the hotel, or to hear the chatter of conversations around. It's really hard for me to describe how it feels, but it's a really good feeling. Three of the units have ground floor outdoor kitchens. We have the opportunity to entertain or just sit, relax. I doubt seriously I'll ever be cooking here, but there's a possibility. This space is a great space to just come, fix a cocktail or a glass of tea, to sit and enjoy the music from the hotel or the dining. You can see the dining, the outdoor dining space from here. You have the pool activity there. And it's just a lovely place just to sit and relax. It's just a wonderful place just to sit and enjoy a few moments of peace and quiet. So Homeworthy, thank you so much for joining me in my home. I hope you've had a good tour. I know there are a lot of things that I didn't talk about or I missed in our conversation, so I hope you'll come back soon. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.